What's up, guys? How's it going? Boy, has it been a crazy last couple of weeks. A little over 2 weeks ago, I got an invitation from a guy named Chris, who is as far as I can tell, the principal photographer behind the company GKPro, which has been working to promote disc golf, I think originating in the Pacific Northwest years ago, and then gradually kind of expanding and showing up at a lot of different events. And GKPro likes to sponsor kind of side events to bolster community interest. And one of the things that they like to sponsor are skins matches. Skins matches, if you're not familiar with those, it's a really cool concept, I think, that probably came from just professional golf, where on hole one, all four players are contesting a small purse called a skin. And if you win the hole that you're playing on, if one person essentially wins and nobody else actually equals that score, everybody scores worse. So for example, one guy gets a birdie and three guys get par, then the person who got a birdie collects the skin, and that's a prize equal to whatever bounty is assigned to the hole. Then you move on to hole number two, where the skin bounty is reset. But the catch is that if the hole is pushed and nobody wins the hole, the amount of money carries over to the next hole, and then it carries over to the hole after that. And I was really excited to participate in this in a way because I was asked to go and provide radar speed, handheld pocket radar, as well as range finding for the whole event, to basically gather as much data as I could, which is a really kind of cool fusion of all the data that I like to gather in the process of understanding disc golf and, of course, the sport itself. So on the day of, I arrive at the event, and I'm there probably about 20 minutes early, milling about. I see all the players there. Wait to hear who it is. If you have not seen the event, it is quite a star-studded cast. But Chris, the cameraman, was there, and I asked him, just out of curiosity, how much money is the skins event anyway? And he told me that it was only $1,800. And $1,800 is certainly a substantial amount of money, but these are for professional players. And I realized that it would be really cool to kind of promote the project, as well as, of course, to promote what they're doing, both GKPro and, of course, what the professionals do by sweetening the pot a little bit. So I made an offer to Chris to double the stakes. Let's make it double skins. How cool would that be? And he asked Luke Humphreys, who is the organizer of the event, also amazing guy, incredible player, and there'll be more about him later on. But Luke was very amenable to it, and he asked me, hey, well, what do you want in advance? And I just said, well, I just have this project. I was wearing the Method shirt, and I said, if you could promote the Method, maybe promote learndiscgolf.com, perhaps mention me by name, that would be cool. And he said, absolutely, man, happy to do it. So he does the intro. It's wonderful. He states the website multiple times. Lots of eyes are going to be on that as a result. And then we kick off the event. So here are the four guys in the skins event, and I'm going to list them in order of power production, starting with the essentially slowest thrower in the group, Isaac Robinson, reigning world champion. Amazing dude, and my God, is he good at disc golf. When you watch Isaac's ability up close, it is astonishing. And I've been watching disc golf since, at least live, since around 2017. I'd seen it before then, but I really started watching a lot of pro events live in 2017. Isaac's skill, his skill set is just phenomenal. Every single part of his game is insane. And Isaac tops out, at least on the course, at 69 miles an hour, though he does tend to throw 66, 67 miles per hour from most of his sculpted shots. When he really, really laid into the disc, and it was evident he was just trying to throw super far, he threw 69 miles an hour as a peak. So number two player, a little bit of a surprise that this guy would actually be third in this tier. Eagle McMahon was invited to compete in this, and I have recorded Eagle throwing completely incomprehensible speeds in the past at that exact event. In fact, the fastest speed that I have ever recorded on my pocket radar was a roller that Eagle threw on hole number, I think it used to be hole number 5 on Milo East. It's the crazy-ass 1,200-foot par 5, and they tend to throw rollers off the tee, although not always. And Eagle threw an 86-mile-an-hour roller on that hole. When I looked at the radar, I assumed that it was a mistake, but honestly, what I've learned since then totally backed it up. I couldn't believe it. So Eagle, reigning champion of distance. This guy throws like 625-foot tunnel shots. He's done incomprehensibly insane things, but unfortunately, Eagle's force production is and probably has been out of whack with his body's ability to tolerate those forces, and it's caused a lot of damage to both his shoulder and to his elbow. Of course, a lot of people have heard about the damage that he did to his shoulder throwing a 360 forehand, and how he basically dislocated it, and it caused like a year of rehab. And his elbow was wrapped during this event, and even though he threw fast, he threw 77 multiple times when he was trying to, just 77, when he was trying to throw super hard, he tended to stay in the like 70 to 72 mile per hour range most of the time, which is kind of his baseline force production speed. And it's actually very similar to Simon Lizotte, who went through kind of a same kind of growth arc. That Simon used to throw high 70s and even 80 miles per hour in competition, and then he got injured too. And when he came back, he was a refined player, throwing only 72, 73 miles per hour when he was trying to play the game. And it seems like that's around the sweet spot in terms of what a body can tolerate long term, unless you have very prodigious, I guess, muscular or genetic advantages. So speaking of genetic advantages, number 3 in power production, none other than Ganon Buhr. Ganon Buhr, who's now, I believe, fully grown. He's 19 years old, so he's probably not going to grow anymore. Kid is like this tall. He's like 6'7" or something. I'm 5'9", and Ganon just makes me look like a little kid on camera. Someone actually wrote to me and said, "Hey, are you caddying for Ganon? Why are you standing next to him?" And well, that was the reason. Ganon is a cool dude, and my God, can he crush. His ability to just produce crazy biomechanical leverage from a single step. His understanding of his own individual levers is so prodigious that a kid who's only 19 years old can do that is really a wonder to behold. And man, he can smash the disc with so little effort when he wants to. And I'm told, and this is the reason why he appears on the list ahead of Eagle, why is Ganon ahead of Eagle? Is because Ganon can throw 80 miles an hour now. And look out world, imagine what he's going to be like in 4 or 5 years when he's a jacked 24-year-old, 25-year-old who spent 4 or 5 years in the gym building up that lanky beanpole body with like 40 or 50 pounds more muscle. Ganon's going to have like 80 miles per hour off the tee on command. It's going to be really, really transformational if nobody else can play at that level. But I think as the sport continues to grow and flourish, it will attract more sort of standard deviation outlier athletes like Ganon. And speaking of one of those guys, at the very top of this list, Anthony Barela, the king of power. I've been hearing about how Barela has been developing as a player, but this is actually recently in the last couple of years, but this is the first time I've actually seen him throw live. The last time I saw Barela throw live, he was much smaller and younger. It was pre-pandemic. I think it was 2018, and I first saw him in 2013. He could only throw about 72, 73 because he was just a lanky kid and he didn't have a lot of physical strength. But Barela is a brute now. He's huge. His legs are gigantic, like big python legs and stuff. And he's like 6'6", and he has perfect biomechanics and perfect leverage and crazy timing and all the explosiveness that you need, all the plyometric explosiveness in his body. Barela threw 82 and 84 miles per hour in front of me with golf shots. And he had high 70s on command. It was like, for one of us, it would look like an upshot. He could throw 75, 76. It's just incomprehensible to see it. The shot that he made on the final hole of the skins match, which is normally a hole you don't go for in competition unless you either have to take a huge risk or you're already winning by a ton. It's a par 4 where you go about 700 feet straight and then the basket's around a dog leg to the right in a little glade. They actually pushed it back. It used to be just around the corner, but nobody goes for that really because the best shot, the best strategy since it's a par 4 is you just throw a big hyzer around 68, 69 miles an hour that knifes down and lands right in the middle of the gap, although maybe a little bit to the left so that you're not pinched off to approach. And all 3 guys on the card threw that exact same shot, metronomically, all in about the same speed range, high 60s. And Barela just like steps up, and I see him like way back here. And he comes forward with this crazy galloping form, braces, disc blasts out. It comes out at 82 miles an hour on this insane gradual turning hyzer flip that flips up perfectly and goes straight through the gap that they're laying up to and disappears out of sight. Like I literally lose sight of it, like a golf shot in ball golf. And when I measured his shot, 621 feet on a golf line. How on earth do you compete with that on a modern course? It's crazy. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil anything that happens, of course. You'll have to watch it for yourself, but it is totally worth watching. GKPro will be producing that edited footage relatively soon, and I'll post on my channel when it's up there. I have 2 more cool stories to tell from the Beaver State Fling. The first one, of course, is going to be about my participation as the radar speed guy for all 3 rounds of MPO coverage, throwing speeds to Philo and Ian in the booth. And then a follow-up event that I attended just a few days ago up at Kayak Point that was something else. So look forward to that. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Take care.